Hi. So in April, I did not post a forecast because on the 20th of March, I broke my leg, a bone in my leg. So I had my right foot, my right leg in a cast for 5 weeks. So I could not work that much during the nearly whole of April. Now I'm recuperating and it's getting better every day. So I have prepared May forecast, a short one, as usual, as my forecasts normally are, not longer than 20 minutes. So let us have a look at what is going to happen in the skies and what are indications for the reflections on our planet Earth just shortly for the month of May 2022. So let me share my screen. Share screen. So here is the presentation. I would just go back to April for a while, just to show you the partial lunar eclipse that took place on the 19th November 21, as located in Mariupol, Ukraine, which was under heavy siege in April, in mid-April of this year. Yes, so it's still ongoing, but it was, I think, the news that really shook the world because of the atrocity, you know, of the fighting and of the suffering of the civil folk. So what is interesting in this eclipse located for Mariupol is that the IC, the most important, I mean, the southern angle, the angle that is very sensitive to planetary influences, was being transited by the nodes. Of course, the north node went over IC, the south node was going over the MC, which can be, and before I show you the actual transits of the nodes in April, I would just like to mention again that this eclipse, although it was partial, was very long and very powerful. Actually, I have seen with all my clients that came to me during the last month, all the people who had their personal points or planets at 27 of either Scorpio or Taurus, or Leo, or Aquarius, like personal points or planets, or Saturn. They all had problems, and many of them had COVID or some other illness or sickness, but many had COVID between November of last year and let's say February of this year, because the lunar eclipse is strongest for the first couple of years of month. Okay, for about 3 months. It still works. It's still, you know, as we can see, its effects can still be seen, can still be felt. They have been felt in Mariupol because of this angle. So this is just something interesting. But now we're going, this is what I wanted to show you. You see, this is the node. This is the 23rd degree. So it's been traveling here along the 22nd, and at the end of April, it's at 22 and something. So this. Now the next important event is going to happen quite soon, and this will be solar partial eclipse taking place on the 30th of April this is London time. I have located this eclipse to London for the reasons I will explain a bit later. 21, 27 BST London. So without looking at the angles, we can take a short look at this eclipse taking place at 10 and 28 of Taurus, applying to conjunct Uranus. So this Uranus will have quite a strong impact in the first days of May, especially around the 5th of May, when we will have the lunar maximum declination. And I will show this a bit later. But anyway, all eclipses conjunct Uranus can bring a period where there are more earthquakes or other stressful events. Those stressful events in May and even also in the succeeding month will also be related to the total lunar eclipse that will take place on the 16th of May. More on that later again. But Uranus is a strong planet. Anyway, this eclipse is applying by a sextile to Mars at 11:53 of Pisces. And this is strong. This is a positive influence. This is strong. This shows that people who have their personal planets or points around this degrees 10, 11th of negative signs. These are, of course, besides Taurus and Pisces, Cancer, Virgo and Scorpio and Capricorn, will receive a powerful energy push for the forthcoming period, like being more able to fight, to go forward, to succeed in life, begin new projects and so on. But possibly not in the first half of May yet, because this is the eclipse season, the strongest period of the eclipse working, so it'll not be safe yet. Also, the safe period to begin new undertakings will be in June, after the 4th of June, when Mercury goes direct, because it goes retrograde on the 8th of May, as we will see a bit later. Well, anyway, we also have another very positive aspect in this eclipse, and this is the exact conjunction, the partile conjunction of Venus and Jupiter on the 27th, very close to the 28th degree of Pisces. So again, people with their personal planets or points at 27 to 28, let's say to 29 of the negative signs, can expect more luck in the following month. They will have a lucky hand at their undertakings, and they can maybe speculate or have financial fortune and so on. Also romantic. This is also a very romantic influence for them, so we can expect love to flourish again for many people. And yeah. As for the rest, we'll come back to this eclipse later. Yeah, these are some of the locations that this eclipse will affect. Obviously, because there are so many of these lines, I have included only the eclipse lines and the Uranus line, just because Uranus is so close to the eclipse degree. But you can, with the help of your programs, create other locality lines, and maybe for the conjunction of Jupiter and Venus, to see where in the world there will be happier times. And yeah, so but this eclipse chart, you see, this is the because it is a partial eclipse, so we only have the partial eclipse lines affecting the Southern America, Peru, Chile. Again, I would not say in a negative way, but always when there is Uranus affecting an eclipse, we can expect more, maybe sudden also earthquake activity, and this could happen in the Alaska region here, north, yeah, this part of Canada. And then we also have a strong effect on the Eastern Australia, along Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne, New South Wales, I think it is called. And yeah, this region could experience, I don't know what, I think Australian astrologers could comment more on that, because they know their actual situation in politics and the climate and weather and so on. But this is like accentuated for the next couple of months. And I will go, yeah, Iran, Tehran. Here you could expect a political situation to experience some changes, unforeseen maybe, like Iran. Okay, then let's go. Again, this is a very short look at the eclipse chart. Okay, at the eclipse locality chart. It is not my intention, my ambition at all to delineate the eclipse effects for the whole world, or all the or on all the levels that are possible. That are, yeah. So let us go further. Now, this is total lunar eclipse of the 16th of May 2022, located for Kiev, Ukraine. Why? Because as you can see, this total eclipse is less fortunate than the solar eclipse because it squares Saturn. Fortunately, I say the square is a separating one, but it is still very exact because, as we can see, Saturn will be at the time of the eclipse at 24:56 of Aquarius, whereas the moon and the sun will be at 25:17. So this is an exact aspect within 21 minutes exactness of orb. And all the locations that have the angles affected by this configuration, all these locations are going to have a tough time, especially those that already have a tough time because of some political difficulty or something. And this one of those is, of course, Ukraine, especially Kiev. You can see here how this unhappy configuration runs right through this region around Kiev. And we have Odessa, I think, somewhere down here. So this is what has been worrying me for several months, because when there were still talks about, the possibility of peace talks, I said, oh, let us hope that these peace talks succeed, because if not, in May or possibly later, but most probably in May, Kiev could be attacked more strongly. People could suffer, maybe even in a way that people in Mariupol had been suffering. It's really hard to tell because we have so conflicting information. Some part of information is that the Russians are as well as defeated, and the other information says that, well, no, the Russians are gathering their strengths to attack again, and so on. We really do not know, cannot know what is true and what is not true. But according to astrology, to astrolocality, I think this region is in for difficult times, unfortunately. The other region that will be very strongly affected by this eclipse is England, especially London. If you can see here, you see all these lines. So the moon on the descendant sun, on the ascendant square Saturn, all these run through London, England. And yeah, this is how the eclipse will look in London. You see 25, and here, and Saturn in square. So this is why is this so interesting, because this eclipse aligns very tightly with Queen Elizabeth II chart. As you can see, her natal MC is at 25 of Scorpio. That is exactly, so her MC IC line is exactly aligned with this upcoming total lunar eclipse. And her natal Saturn is at 24.5 of Scorpio. So this eclipse also aligns with her natal Saturn and is squared by transiting Saturn. So what I think is that it is very, very probable that the Queen will step down from her duties And during this summer, maybe May, maybe later in the later month, because as we know, eclipses work several months, especially total eclipses have a longer duration. So this could be a step down from her duties, or even a worsening of her health situation is possible, is very possible. So she should be advised to have a lot of plenty of rest. So yeah, and these are also the Queen's progressions. This is secondary progression in the 8th harmonic, showing that her progressed MC will be exactly sesqui, will come to an exact sesqui square of Pluto, which in May, which is also a planet of definite endings. Yeah. So, and here in the 12th harmonic ephemeris, we have Moon in conjunct Pluto around the 1st of May and around the, let's say, 10th of June. So, and this is in July, we have a square of vertex. So this July period is going to be also tough for her. I mean, there is a strong possibility that she will be very sensitive in this all this period during this month. Okay. So next comes the declination graph for May 22. You see here is an exact parallel, also conjunction, of course, somewhere around here. And this is on the 4th of May. Just a day before that, on the 3rd of May, the moon comes out of bounds and it tops, it peaks on the 5th of May. And here you can see, so these are going to be important and possibly stressful days. Here, as you can see, Mercury will incidentally peak on the same day, on the 5th of May, because you see here, Mercury goes to the north and here it stops. It's like a Mercury station, and then it goes backwards. Some of you know that I've been writing a book on declinations in mundane astrology. And there is a lot on these, planetary stations in declination. Peaks are maximums. This is a kind of maximum of Mercury that we see here. It steps down to, goes downward. So, whenever there is a congruence of factors taking place at around the same time, those days are filled with strong, interesting, and maybe sometimes shocking events on planet Earth, of course. Also on the same day, on the 5th of May, we have the moon in apogee. So some really difficult and shocking events could take place on the 5th of May, possibly on the 3rd when the moon gets out of bounds. So all this, the whole of this period is going to be quite eventful, to say the least. So, and it's also going to be, of course, on period, the season, an eclipse season, because on the 30th of April here we have the solar eclipse, and here on the 16th we have the lunar eclipse. So what is advisable for general public during such periods is not to risk with new activities, with new beginnings, because things do not go according to plan later. You know, the later development is often shaky if we start something in during such a period. Well, anyway, the moon will get full in the form of a total lunar eclipse on the 16th of May, and then we have just immediately after that, we have again a period of an out-of-bound moon. Here is the perigee around here, and the southern maximum on the 19th of May. So again, this is going to be an eventful period with possibly weather, strong weather events. These weather events around the 5th of May, if I go back, could be caused by strong winds, because Mercury rules the wind. And so there could be some, hurricanes or whatever is possible in different parts of the world. And also, of course, earthquakes. Yeah, from the 3rd onwards to the 5th to the 6th, there is a stronger possibility of earthquakes. And here at the southern maximum, this is also a precarious period. We have Mars parallel Neptune. So this is some kind of weakness. And it could also show a period of strong suffering of people in those regions where this, could happen. This is just after this very difficult lunar eclipse. And lunar eclipses affect general masses more than individuals. I mean, in the mundane sense of the world, of course, people that have planetary planets and points at 25 of around 25 of fixed signs should take care around this eclipse and later, because I will not go further into personal astrology, but they should take care, of course. But on the mundane level, this could show suffering of common folk. And here we have the transits in longitude. We can see Mercury changing direction on the 11th of May. It's going to be stationary on the 10th of May. And as we know, Mercury stations are difficult because they show a change in the communicative, in the mental processes. So we often change our plans around the days when Mercury stations and goes retrograde. There's going to be problems in communication, misunderstandings, delays, and so on. Then there is a short time of reset, as I say, and then things go back to normal. Still, it's not advisable to start new, to sign documents and contracts and so on, and negotiate until Mercury starts its direct path again, and this will be, I think, on the 4th of June. So, and what do we have here? I will not, I will not go through all the aspects. Of course, a new moon on the 30th of May is here, and here is just, I only have 2 more charts, I think, 2 more slides. Yeah, this is the slide showing the moment when the moon gets out of bounds. And again, I think, again, I would say first that I have only included the sun and the moon, only conjunctions and squares as the aspects are concerned. This just shows the locations in the world that will be more sensitive to those particularly strange events that tend to happen on the day or around the day of moon going out of bounds. And this will be in May, this will be the 3rd of May. This affects a couple of days, maybe a day before and a couple of days afterwards. So here we have Peking, China. We know that the COVID situation is getting worse there, and people are, getting closed into their buildings because of this fear that COVID, there will be an upsurge. So China is going to be affected, and we also have New Zealand here, and so much for now. These charts are interesting to watch after the days. So in retrospect, yes, because it's obviously very difficult to predict the actual events. But whenever we go back in time, we can see that these lines correspond to what's really happening. And this is the chart. Astrolocality chart cast for the moment when the moon will reach its peak on the 5th of May. And I have included Mercury. Why? Because Mercury on that day will also achieve its peak. And this is going right through Tokyo. That's also, so Tokyo, Japan is the region to under focus, I would say around the 5th of May. There could be a stronger earthquake possibly, or I mean, not very strong, but let's say stronger than usual, than usually those earthquakes are in that region. And also moon on MC along New Zealand again. And going to Europe, it's a bit muddled here because, yeah, here we also have Sun. And Uranus is included because the Sun will be conjuncting Uranus on that day, on the 5th of May. And here we have Moscow. So interesting developments in Moscow as well. Probably not very peaceful, unfortunately. Okay, that's it. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do, and please share. And yeah, yesterday I had, no, on Sunday, I had a workshop for the AFAN organization. If you are a member, you can go to, if you're a member, you have received the recording. The lecture, the workshop went on very well. I was very happy with how things proceeded, with how people reacted to the workshop, and it's giving me a lot of pleasure and a push. And a push, I don't know if this is the right word, but let's say it stimulates me. Such reactions stimulate me to go on with the writing of my book on declinations. I'm a bit lazy, like I think we all are. We always need a lot of discipline to work on things that ask for a lot of contemplation and research. So anyway, if you are not yet on my mailing list, you can go to emakurent.com and subscribe to my mailing list so that you will be notified when another video comes out or when the book is published. Thank you very much and see you next month.